California has a problem. The hardest permit to get when they lost 25,000 or so houses, which shouldn't have been lost, they should have allowed the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, which was very plentiful. But they didn't do that. They lost 25,000 houses. Lee and his team gave them the most complicated permit within 20 days. Everybody, every single house that burned down got the federal approval. Unfortunately, it's well over a year.
That's President Trump yesterday, now allowing California wildfire survivors to bypass local permitting delays, which have stalled rebuilding efforts in Los Angeles for over a year. The move giving Palisades wildfire survivors immediate access to $3.25 billion in Small Business Administration disaster relief money. Builders who've waited more than 60 days for that permitting can now self-certify compliance with state and local requirements and begin reconstruction without waiting for local approvals. Fox has reached out to California Governor Gavin Newsom and L.A. Mayor Karen Bass for comment. We have not heard back. We will let you know when they respond. Joining me now, though, is Small Business Administration Administrator Kelly Loeffler. Great to see you, Administrator. Good to have you this morning.
Wonderful to be with you, Maria.
Well, this is a big deal. I mean, President Trump is focused on permitting, but tell me about this.
Well, Maria, once again, President Trump is saving Californians from failed local leadership, state leadership, Gavin Newsom, who have failed to help their residents rebuild. I mean, we all watched in horror 1 year ago as LA was up in flames. The president sped water to put out the fires, then he sped disaster recovery, and then we sped disaster relief in the form of small business loans, 12,000 of them, $3.2 billion. Well, what we find out is that they have delayed permitting, the stalling, the bureaucracy that has crowded out the ability to rebuild. So President Trump is again leading for California to rebuild.
And you at the SBA are the largest disaster relief opportunity.
Yeah, so what we do is provide long-term low interest rate loans for residents to rebuild. What's happened is we've had to twice extend the deadline for residents to use that $3.2 billion, those 12,000 residents. 75% of all those burned out of their homes are still living in temporary housing. 50% are facing economic ruin. So they're still having to make mortgage payments on houses they don't have, and then they're facing moving goalposts and permitting, bureaucratic delays under Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass. And this is an abject failure that President Trump is coming to the rescue once again.
I mean, it's incredible to me the impact that these kinds of bottlenecks, like, you know, a delay in permitting can have. I mean, we've heard it all from, you know, Chevron and the oil sector, but I mean, these are people's homes that they can't even get back into their home and rebuild.
Yeah, it's really a twin disaster. It's the fires and it's the liars. It's the fires that we all watched, and then the local officials that say they're doing everything they can to move quickly, and they're expediting, and none of that's happening. And we all see it with our own eyes. I've been out there twice. I've walked the neighborhoods with residents who are devastated. They're all trying to pull together to do what they can. But now President Trump is clearing the way to ensure that if we have seen permits in for more than 60 days, residents can self-certify through their contractor and restart that, get that building started.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Small Business Administration halting over $5 million in federal funds to Minnesota. I want to hear about this after you uncovered loans tied to the Feeding Our Future pandemic fraud scheme. What have you learned? Over 1,000 firms also suspended, making up about 25% of business development program for failing to submit 3 years of financial documents by the deadline of January 19th. It's obviously part of the administration's push to expose this fraud, end DEI abuses, and restore integrity in federal contracting. Kelly, what can you tell us?
Well, that's exactly right. When I came in, Maria, certain programs had never been audited, like the 8A socially and economically disadvantaged program that discriminated against white business owners in their entirety for 50 years. So we set out to do a 15-year look-back audit. We suspended 1,000 people who didn't participate in the submission of financial forms. And then up in Minnesota, obviously, we were all horrified when it was revealed how much fraud in the Somali network was going on. We went back during PPP. We'd seen $430 million of fraud. Thousands of borrowers had defrauded the federal government during that time, stealing funds from small businesses. So we're going to go state by state and looking back, because the Biden administration kicked all that waste, fraud, and abuse under the rug, and we're going after it in multiple programs.
Unbelievable. I mean, what was Tim Walz doing?
Well, he obviously was silencing whistleblowers. It seems that he has some issues around that particular community, but also the integrity of the program writ large at a federal level was never investigated. So I'm taking the responsibility to ensure that we go back, revive those COVID-era loans, and get those investigations going again.
Kelly, you were at the president's 10th cabinet meeting, the first cabinet meeting of 2026. What do you want to say about that? A historic year, certainly for what you've been doing in terms of small business loans.
Well, certainly small business is booming thanks to President Trump. We see record small business formation now in this country, 36 million small businesses. Last year, we put out $100 billion at the SBA for the first time in our history. And that's thanks to the confidence that President Trump has instilled in Main Street. Main Street is back thanks to his economic agenda. Small businesses appreciate the tax cuts, the tariffs. Made in America is creating manufacturing in this country. I've walked manufacturing floors where small manufacturers are doubling their workforce because those tariffs are driving business onshore again. They're creating jobs and opportunity and strong economic growth, as y'all had just discussed.
Is small business using AI? Is it implementing AI in their businesses?
They are. In fact, we're going to be seeing small business being able to scale much more rapidly, particularly in manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, automation, using AI, robotics. We're going to see whole industries reshored thanks to that innovation that comes both through AI, robotics, and automation.
I love it. Kelly, it's great to have you this morning.
Thank you, Maria. It's great to be with you.
Thanks so much. Kelly Loeffler joining us.